Welcome to the second session of the National Accounting and Role of the Government Part 2. Actually, we have already done the role of the government part, and today we are going to discuss about the national accounting part. So, in national accounting, what we are trying to discuss is we are going to measure the total value of an economy, or sometimes it is called as GDP, gross domestic product. It can be the gross domestic expenditure, it can be gross national income. So, likewise there are various ways of how to measure the value of a certain economy. So, in national accounting what we are going to do is we are going to measure the value of an economy. So, for that we are using several methods in order to arrive at the output level. So, first we will look at sometimes what they will say is, so they will give a summary. So, the examiner might give you a summary about different industries. So, you can see there are a lot of industries in this scenario, and you will be asked to come up with the value, the gross value added at basic price, and also you will be asked to calculate the gross national product at market price. So, what you need to do is, in that context, what you need to do is, so the examiner might give you the total value or the total output value in each and every industry. If you look at, you will see lot of industries here. So, you need to keep in mind how you are going to arrive at the gross value added and gross national product. So, if you look at, if you are asked to calculate, and if let us say if you have been given the total value of an economy industry wise, agriculture and forestry, mining, manufacturing, electricity, subsection manufacturing, construction, wholesale and retail trade, information and communication, financial and insurance services. So, you have been given the total value of those economies or those industries. And if you are asked to calculate the gross value added at basic price, what you need to do is you need to add that value of each and every industry. So, if you will be given several industries. So, what you need to do is you need to add all the value of different industries. So, first what you need to do is agriculture and forestry value plus the mining, manufacturing, electricity plus subsection manufacturing plus construction plus wholesale and retail trade, transportation and accommodation, food services plus information and communication plus financial and insurance services plus ownership of dwellings, real estate plus professional, scientific, administration and support services plus public administration, defense, education, health and social security. So, these are some of the industries that you will see in an economy. So, you need to add those value. If you are adding all, if you take the summation of all those value, you will get the gross value added at basic price. So, you need to keep in mind these formulas thoroughly. So, then if you add the taxes on products for the gross value added at basic price, for that you are going to add the taxes on products, the taxes that have been levied by the government, the taxes on product, and also you need to deduct the subsidies on product. Subsidies on product means whatever the subsidies that the government has provided. And if you add taxes on product and deduct subsidies on product to gross value added at basic price, you will get gross national product at market price. So, these formulas are very important in order to answer for your questions. So, this is how, if you have been given the value of certain economies, if you are asked to calculate the gross value added at basic price, and if you are asked to calculate the gross national product at market price, this is the formula you need to use. You need to add the total value of each and every industry, then you will get the gross value added at basic price, and for gross value added basic price, if you add the taxes on product and you subtract the subsidies on product, then you will get the national product at market price. So, there are three main ways you can calculate there are three main ways you can do the national income accounting. That means, the total value of the economy can be derived by three approaches. Those are mainly production approach, income approach and expenditure approach. So, we are going to discuss one by one each approach. So, you need to keep in mind there are three main ways in which you can measure the national income. The first one is the production approach, the second one being the income approach, and the third one being the expenditure approach. So, if you look at the first one is the production approach. So, in this production approach, so what they are saying is GDP means the gross domestic product. So, gross domestic product, that is, it's a measure of, what they are saying is GDP is a measure of value of all finished goods, finished products produced within a given period of time in an economy. Okay, if you take Sri Lankan economy and if you are taking 1 year, so during that 1 year period, you are calculating the total value of finished goods. You are taking the total value of the finished goods. Let's say for 2020 and Sri Lankan economy. So if you are taking the total value of finished goods, it can be regarded as the gross domestic product. So in production approach also, you can follow two methods. There are two methods you can arrive at the GDP by using the production approach. The first one is that you are taking the final product method. Final product method means, so the products that are available for consumption, are only be considered when you are calculating the GDP in final product method. So those goods, let's say it's a final product. So if you consider soap, and if you consider let's say a chair, so those can be regarded as a final product. So what do you mean by the final product means? So those will not be further processed in order to produce another good. So that's why we call it the final product method. So you are taking the final product, the total value of the final products when you are arriving at the GDP. So the basic examples would be the chairs, tables, and if you look at soap, and if you look at books, so those will not be further processed in order to produce another good. So that's why we call it a final product, and that is called the final product method. So if you are taking the total value of the final product, and that is considered as the GDP. And value added method means, okay, so let's say you are producing certain kind of product. So let's say you are producing certain kind of product, and let's say in the initial part, the only process, let's say the product is going through in various processes. The product is going through 4 different various processes. So in 4 different various processes, some amount of value will be added to the product. Some amount of value will be added to the product. Then in value added method, what we are taking is, if you take let's say there is product called A and it is going through 4 processes, what you will do is you are looking at in the first process what's the value it is adding. Let's say in first process it is only considering the raw material, then the value of raw material is considered. And in the second process you are adding labor, then you are taking the value of the labor into account. Let's say in the process 3 there are new raw materials added, then you are only taking the new value of the new raw materials. So likewise, if the product is going through various processes, you are taking the value, the extra value that will be added in each point of the production. So finally, you will add the, so let's say if you are considering about one product, you are taking the value added to that particular product at various places, and you are arriving at a value for that good. So likewise, you are considering the total production of an economy and you are trying to come up with the total value added at each point, and then you can calculate the GDP. Whereas the final product method, you are only considering about the final product only.